A very good morning, everyone. Today we'll be studying the unit 5th of our course, CGCon 302, and in this unit we'll be talking about farm records, different types of farm records. The contents of this lecture would be what is farm record keeping, what are the definitions that are associated, and the benefits and challenges, and we will be discussing physical farm records. Okay, the rest of the parts we will be covering in the upcoming lectures. What is the definition of farm records? So see, farm record is a physical book, but farm record keeping can also be can say is synonymous with farm accountancy, farm bookkeeping, and farm accounting. There are three separate definitions of these, but essentially they mean the same thing. Farm accountancy, it has said that it is an art as well as a science wherein we record in books the business transactions in a regular and systematic manner, okay, so that at any point of time, if you want to know what was the nature of some specific transaction, how much was the amount, what were the financial effects of that transaction, so we are able to know about it. Okay, this is farm accountancy. It's simply we are maintaining records of the transactions that are going that are happening on our farm, so that later on, if you want to know about certain transaction, we are able to look at it and we are able to assess some things associated with that transaction. Okay, now what is farm bookkeeping? It was given by Adams. Farm bookkeeping is an activity wherein we keep system of records in a written manner to furnish the history of business transaction with separate special reference to financial side. It's again very simple. Just don't these people are, these are native English speakers, so their way of defining things is a little typical for us, but if you understand the meaning, you can write in your own manner. You don't need to can say cram the exact the word to word lines. Okay, so farm bookkeeping, wherein we keep systematic records which have a history of business transaction, that is the transactions we are making daily on a regular basis throughout the last 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. That history is being provided by these farm records, and these are financial records, okay, not physical records. uh, Physical records are also there, but this guy talked about financial records in particular. Okay, then comes farm accounting. It's simply an application of accounting principles to the business of farming. Farming is considered as a business in capitalist form. This whole topic of farm management, this whole subject of farm management that we are studying it because we are considering farms as capitalist farms. Okay, wherein the farms function as a business. So that's why I keep on referring to different types of farming as enterprises. Okay, so these all the definitions are coming from mostly from America. That's why you will be seeing, because the farms there are quite big, they are working like businesses. That's why these things are, you might not be able to relate to some of most of the farms in India, because they are of subsistence kind. That means they are not being done for profit purposes, but just for sustaining their lives. Okay, so essentially, farm accountancy, farm bookkeeping, and farm accounting, they are simple that they are maintaining systematic records, so that later on, if they want to know what kind of transactions were done for which purpose, what was its effect, and also by applying some accounting principles to those transactions that have been recorded, we might be able to find out something important. They might also be helpful to us. Okay, this is what it essentially means, farm record keeping. What are the benefits? It does help in increasing income, because uh, in the long run, when we are keeping farm records regularly, we will be having more experience. We will be able to progress by making little changes which can increase our income in the long run. Okay, diagnosis and planning. Diagnosis means we can identify our weaknesses and plan accordingly to remove those weaknesses. Okay, Managerial ability of a farmer definitely increases if he tries to maintain the records. Okay, if he tries to maintain records, what happens is in the long run he is able to identify his weaknesses, identify the strength, okay, strengths of his farm, identify the opportunities that are lying ahead, that can be, that can be taken advantage of in the coming time. As the experience goes by, a farmer learns when he should sow which kind of crop, where he should sell, where he should buy his inputs from, so that the cost less. So they do increase the managerial ability of a farmer, okay, which in turn means profitability. Getting a loan, if you have all the financial transactions in one place, it is easy for a banker to assess your capacity, repayment capacity. By looking at your records, he can see how much you are earning year after year, whether you are making any kind of progress. So, if he is going to give you a loan, so that his money is safe. If you are having those records, if you show it to him, he can assess, and if he is satisfied, he can give you the loan very easily. Research purposes. These records do tell researchers do give researchers very important information, that where the money of the farmer is being spent, how much he is spending on what kind of things, okay, whether he is making I can say useless expenditures, or whether he is making unnecessary expenditures on some things, where what items are costing him most, what costs the most to a farmer right now. These days diesel, labor, these are the two things that cost the farmer most of their money. The cost of product In the cost of production, these two things are the highest shareholders, okay. In policy making, by looking at a large amount of records from different farmers, it is very easy to make informed decisions by the government. Okay, by looking at these records, the government can see easily that if the farmer, if the crops cost of cultivation is being increased due to, let's say, seed getting expensive year after year, so that they can keep a check on the prices of seed. If the agrochemicals, let's say weedicides, insecticides, they are buying from the market and their cost is increasing year after year, okay, so then they can also keep a check on it, okay. Also, to make certain types, let's say, by the records it has been seen that the cultivation of gram is not let's say income generating as compared to the other crops, let's say wheat, because wheat is kind of giving an assured income. So by the records, the government can get to know the reasons why people are not growing gram, and for the same they can make policies so that gram cultivation becomes more attractive, okay. Let's say, now we will talk about the challenges. What are the challenges that why most people don't maintain records in India? Subsistence farming, the more than 80% of the farmers are marginal. That means less than 1 hectare of land. So a farmer who is having just 2.5 acres of land, why would he bother to maintain records when his total earning is less than 2 lakh rupees? This 2 lakh rupees I'm putting this gross income without expenses, okay, and this is the most he can get. He is a very efficient farmer. So why would anyone bear the pains of maintaining records when he is just trying to feed his family and not earn profit out of it? That is what subsistence farming means. It is a laborious job. A farmer is essentially a manager, essentially a labor. Also, he finances his farming. So after doing all three jobs plus family responsibilities, he is not able to maintain records, because these four things are extremely laborious, okay. So he doesn't have time to do all these things, plus the illiteracy which is prevalent among the rural areas. It also is a big challenge for the farmers to take up record keeping. Farming is itself complicated. It is a biological process, okay. Unlike other businesses which are done under a shared manufacturing, kind of businesses which are assured, okay, which are not affected by climate, by weather, you can say a lot. It is said that the finance minister in India is our monsoon, because even a little fluctuation in the distribution, in the timing of monsoon, can affect crops in different areas. And those crop, let's say early rains in some regions of Maharashtra, lower Maharashtra, where onion is being grown and supplied to the entire country. If there are early rains, this crop is affected badly and their output reduces. This reduction in output due to slight fluctuation in monsoon causes a lot of panic, and it increases the prices of onion many folds. And it is these prices, the effect of these prices can be seen, from every this affects every single person in the society. So this is how you can see a little fluctuation for a single crop can affect our economy in a very bad manner. Okay. Extension services, not any kind of trainings, okay, demonstrations of benefits of record keeping is not being done by the government, or let's say the work that is being done is extremely less as per the requirements. That's why people are also not taking up this record keeping activity. Fear of taxation. Farmers do fear that if they are going to keep their records, and if it is somehow profitable some years and continuously 2 to 3 years, government might also end up imposing taxes on their earning. So that's why people try to hide their incomes. I'll tell you one thing: most of the people, most of the politicians, businessmen, they are also farmers, and their farms might be earning, they might be having 100 acre of farms or might be having 10 acres of farm. But you will be noticing, if you are into the news a lot, that out of this small amount of land they might be showing their income tax returns, that is the agricultural income, they might be showing in crores. Okay, and this income is non taxable. That's why this is how they hide their black money, okay, by showing it as income from agriculture. Okay, businessmen also, politicians also, and other people who have a lot of money. Suitable farm books, exact or specific or accurate books which are developed for the specific needs of different types of farmers are not available in the market. Okay, that's why record keeping is also very low. So there are many farmers who do keep records in their diaries, but these are not okay, and they are forced to keep the records in diaries because there are suitable books are not available at all. Types of farm records. Now we'll be discussing the types of farm records. There are three types of farm records, but we'll be studying only two. First one is physical farm records, second one is financial farm records. In this part of the lecture, we'll be studying only these physical farm records. Okay, what are these farm records? Feed record, farm map, crop production record, land utilization, cropping pattern, and 10. These are total 10 types of records we will be discussing. These are fairly simple, so I'll be giving you an overview. So you can pause the slides later on and just try to understand what is there. These records need not to be accurate as shown by me in the slide. They vary from use to use, person to person, activity to activity. Okay, this is a farm map. Let's say if you are a capitalist type of farmer, you are going to plan your farm in such a manner that you will be able to utilize your land in the best possible way. Your wastage is less. Okay, your alignment, your placement of different sheds and houses and roads and pathways, water channels should be in a manner that it is using the resources in the best possible way. Okay, so you can see a typical farm map here. It has been taken from this book, Joel and Kapoor, Fundamentals of Farm Business Management. Okay, legend, it generally shows what do different signs in the map mean. This is the farm boundary. You can see these farm boundaries. This farm is of 24 acres. Okay, Buildings, it has been shown here. Tube well near the building in the 11th number of field. Water channels, you can see these water channels here. Okay, approach road, where is this approach road? I am not able, sorry, I think this is the approach road it is mentioning. The legend is not made correctly. This is the approach road for the farm, and this is the main road. It can be a highway, state highway, national highway, or you can say your village road, anything. Okay, so this is how you're supposed to design a farm, design the placement of your fields, your pathways, your water channels, your tube wells. It varies from farmer to farmer. It varies from what kind of farming you're doing. Okay, this might be okay for a farmer who is having can say specific requirements, but if he is a livestock farmer, he will be needing more sheds, more storage houses, more processing houses. So the layout will be different. We'll be discussing the farm map and farm layout in the practicals. Okay, this is just an example of how a farm map should be drawn up in advance, taking care of all the requirements of your particular requirements. All right. Crop production record. And let's say we are discussing maize, which was sown in 10 acres in the year 2018. Okay, 10 acres, the field number which were given in the farm map 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up to here, the maize was grown. Okay, so field number 1 to 10, previous crop was before maize, it was cotton. So, what are the expenses that were done, and on what kind of things that those expenses were done? Preparatory tillage was done using plowing and planking, two plankings. When it was done, which implement was used, and some remarks. Just explaining those things. How much time did it take? 1.5 hours per acre, 1 hour per acre. Okay, irrigation, one irrigation was given during the basal irrigation, you can say, using tube well. 6 hours it took to irrigate the field. Then manuring, FYM was used. How much quantity, when it was done, using what did it, these things, these remarks also help us tell about the cost involved. Okay, showing what was the thing. In the similar manner, you can maintain all these records and these things. In the end, the returns part, total production, how much was the quantity, when it was harvested, how it was harvested, what kind of machinery was done, machinery was used, what is the yield, that means per acre. Yield is always per acre, total production per acre. And what was the gross income, at what price it was sold, where it was sold, when it was sold. These kind of records give you each and everything about your maize enterprise, so that later on the next year, if you are trying to assess things, where you can save money, where did you sell it, you have a proper record. You just can flip pages and get to know a lot of get to have a lot of information in your hands. Okay, so it builds up confidence, and it opens up the mind of the farmers, where he can bother to look for bother to take risks, because he is sure that if this much will be my cost, this much will be my return. And if he has prior knowledge of everything that is going to cost him, so he can arrange for finances. Okay, and he can arrange for selling at different points of time. Okay, let's say the price he got last year was not sufficient. If he could have waited for this much of some more time, he could have gotten a better price by selling it at a different place. These kind of information, these do give the farmer some space to think of some other things. All right. Then comes land utilization record. How are you utilizing your land? The total land you're having. Let's say I have 24 acres of land with me. It is staying the same from the last 3 years. Okay, staying the same necessarily it means some people cultivate their own land. Some people lease in the land of some others by paying rent to them. So this amount can go up and down. Out of the cultivable area, I have cultivated crops in 22 acres. All of them were irrigated, none of them were unirrigated. Buildings and roads were on this much part of our a part of the 24 acres, garden this much part, and idle land this much part, which was not used for any purpose. So you can get to know if your cultivation is increasing or not. Okay, this way you can maintain a proper record. Cropping pattern record: what kind of crops you have been going season after season, year after year. In the kharif season in 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, this helps in rotating the fields. If you are growing cotton in 17 acres, 16 acres, again 17, 15, 17, maize, pearl millet, carrot, and fodder. In Rabi season, you were growing wheat, mustard. You're taking carrot seed after this, after carrots, and you're growing berseem. So this way, you can get to know about what you have been growing. If you want to make any changes, or the financial records of 2015 to 2019, if the income is not growing at all by growing the same crops again and again, you can think of alternatives. Okay, if you just try to match the financial records with the cropping pattern records. Also, it helps in changing fields. Okay, would not want to grow cotton in the same fields again and again. Okay, you would be wanting to grow cotton sometimes after pearl millet, sometimes after maize, sometimes in the fields of maize, in the fields of pearl millet, in carrot. You can rotate the land again and again, so that the fertility is maintained. Crop production and disposal record. In the crops, what did you produce? Okay, and where did it come from, and how did you sell it? How did you use it? Okay, in the kharif season, just for the sake of example, cotton balance from the last year was nothing. I had sold earlier what I had sold last year only. In the field number 2 to 18 in the area, in let's say it is for a particular year 2018, I grew cotton in 17 acres in the field number 2 to 18. This much was my total production. This was my yield per acre. I didn't use anything for domestic purpose, nothing for seed. I didn't use it for feed. I did not give it to anyone out of, can say, for religious purposes or these kind of things. The total quantity was 2,204 quintals, and I sold it for 8.16 lakh. Okay, and the balance was nothing. In maize, you can put down any values wherein you can get to know where it came from, how much was the area, total production yield, and if how much was kept at home, how much was used for was kept for seeds for the coming year, how much was used for feed, and what see for if you're going to use maize, that is maize fodder that is being produced by you, its quantity and its value. These kind of things will help you in the long run. You can get to know the prices also, how much did you earn from which kind of crop. So this particular crop production and disposal record maintains a clarity in your mind whether you have not wasted any kind of production. Okay, where how much did you get, and how much did you produce, and how did you dispose it off. This is the whole production and disposal record. Okay, for all the crops for a particular year, it will be for a particular year. All right, so you can also get to know the total receipts, how much was your earning out of it, total cash expenses, how much was spent, net cash income, farm privileges, net farm income, some of the financial efficiency measures, aggregate financial efficiency measures taught to you in the last lecture. Okay, over the years, if your income is increasing or not, the difference here is 2000, 25,000. Similarly, livestock production and disposal record, what kind of animals you are having, buffalo, cow, this is the breed, and what are you selling out of it, this is main thing. Okay, this is the physical quantity and this is the financial part. You're selling milk and you're selling ghee. Poultry birds, you're selling eggs and meat. You sold previous balance was 3700 liters of milk, and out of it this much was consumed. Sorry, this 3700 should come here, 3700. Okay, this will be zero, out of which this much was used at home, this much was sold, and there is no balance at all. You can see ghee, this much was produced, used at home, and this much was sold. Okay, Poultry birds again produced, total was this much. Domestic consumption of 500 eggs, we sold 6500 eggs. Okay, if you can include the quantity and value here, the financial aspect also comes in, so you can again calculate these things for the livestock also. Okay, you can include quantity and value also. Now labor record, you must be having some permanent labor on your farm. You might not be having, sorry to say, but people do have permanent labor on their farm, and also they hire labor of different types. For each type of labor you're supposed to maintain different types, each type of labor, each separate records. So this is the activity here. On what date, how many hours of man labor or tractor labor. Date, how many hours of man labor and tractor labor. Laborers are supposed to do 7 or 8 type of tasks. Okay, and below them, on what date, how much of labor was used. Man labor, tractor labor. In plowing and seedbed preparation, man plus tractor labor is going to be using. Sowing also, in interculture and spraying, let's say they are using tractors, but there are other ways also. This can be replaced by some other implement also. As you can see, there is nothing here. If there is any other kind of implement, you can measure the name of the implement here. Okay, irrigation, man plus tube well. Harvesting and threshing, man plus tractor. Okay, on what date, how much quantity of labor was spent, so that in the end you can know for a particular season. Okay, or if you want to maintain it for a particular crop, if you are growing only one crop or just two crops, it will be easy for you. Or we should go for a season. In particular season, how much was the total quantity of man hours were used in particular purpose. And in the end you can also total hit here horizontal, can say horizontally, so that how many man hours were used, and you can at the end calculate if you did utilize your labor properly. Machinery use record, similar to the previous record. On what date, what purpose, at what time, for how many hours it was used. Fuel, oil consumed, previous, how much was the quantity inside it, how much did you add, total consumption, balance again. Electricity, if the machine that you are using does consume electricity, if there was any repair cost, or if you want to keep any remark. These are date wise records. Okay, you can easily mention the which type of machinery here in the records, what type of machinery was used. Stock or store register, this is also important. These are maintained for different types of articles. Okay, separate files for separate articles. On what date, how much was in the starting, how much was added total, and how much did go out of the store, and how much was the balance in the end of the 1st July. Okay, and what was the balance at hand, these kind of things, if there was any cost. These are again date wise records regarding urea. How much was there in the starting, if you added anything, if you took anything out of it, as you can see here, where it was applied. These kind of records do help in maintaining a clean inventory record. Okay, feed records, these are, as you can see, feed is generally these records are used by farmers who are having livestock with them. These are also maintained daily, but what you are seeing is here is a summary, monthly summary. Okay, if you are going to make it daily, date wise, these you will be having date here, and you will be having animal here, and at on what date, how much quantity of bhusa, green fodder, and concentrate was given date wise to which animal, or can say certain specific types of animals are there. Similar type of animals are there, 4 animals of this kind, 4 of this kind, 4 of this kind. And in the later on, in the end of the month, you can get this figure. In July 1970, uh, this much of dry fodder was given to buffaloes, all the buffaloes, green fodder, concentrate, and for the whole year, this much was the quantity. Okay, so you can get to know the major expenses regarding the feed and concentrates given to the livestock in this manner. Thank you. This was the part 1 of your farm records chapter. In the next chapter, we will be discussing the financial farm records one by one. Thank you.